Today we have with us Dr. Siddayya, Professor Ned, Institute of Agribusiness Management, UAS Bangalore, who has come here as an external expert for evaluating the thesis of Agilan. And in this process, we also requested him to deliver a guest lecture on entrepreneurship in agriculture and employment opportunities in India. As agribusiness management graduates and faculty and other students, they are all very keen to know what are the opportunities with regard to employment and entrepreneurship. A lot of changes are happening at the national level with more emphasis on entrepreneurship. The government is supporting through a lot of programs. There is more talk about startups, innovators, and all those things. So we also have 6 or 7 incubators within TNAU, which is also promoting entrepreneurs in a very big way. In this context, we have our experienced eminent speaker, who is also the PPMC coordinator at UAS Bangalore. He is also the ICR nodal officer, so he is familiar with all the ICR programs that goes into supporting the students. And he's also the director of the Skill Development Center in UAS Bangalore. So these are most important activities because entrepreneurship or employment requires skill, and the government is also focusing more on the skill development activities. They are giving funds to a greater extent. He has got more than 2 decades of rich experience. He has also worked in NARD and he did this PhD in IARI in agricultural economics. So we welcome you, sir, uh, here to TNAU. We are very keen to listen to your experience, and I'm sure the students will gain a lot of inputs to follow up based on your lecture. With the permission of the House, now I kindly request Dr. Siddayya to make his presentation. I can use. Respected Dean, Agri, College of Agriculture, TNU, all my head of the department, senior professors, my dear student friends. Good evening to everyone. In fact, they have more experience than me, no doubt at all, but it is a customary, maybe it is maybe sharing experience between each other. It was mandated to present or maybe discuss. It's a more of we can have a discussion rather than delivering guest lecture. And when it comes to entrepreneurship and employment, I have a quick question to my dear students. Before that, the opportunity and employment generations, it is a ocean in India particularly. Can you say what is the total geographical area, my student friends? Having 328 million hectare, what could be the our land put into in agriculture? Almost you have 142 million hectare total land put into in agriculture. And having this much land, this is a impact becoming a shrinking day by day. During maybe 1947, it was 149, 152 million hectare. Almost 6-7 decades, it was reduced almost to 10 million hectare. Other side, you think of growing population, enormously growing, faster growth rate impact, almost it is a 2.59 growth rate. The population is increasing. By 2050, we shall require minimum of 358 million tons of food grains. When it comes to only food grains, I'm talking living fruits, vegetables, and milk. There are many other commodities.
Friends, but the land is shrinking due to there are many regions, maybe creating infrastructure, maybe urbanization. I hope which is the fastest urbanizing state in our country. You can say proudly it is the Tamil Nadu. Having a major constraint, you have a surplus food production also in Tamil Nadu. You just see the statistical at a glance of your state over a period of time, almost 6 decades. What was the urbanization happened? This is a state that had a fastest urbanizing state, having a this major issue. They are producing highest in food grains as well as fruits and vegetables. I hope you must be knowing what is the total food grains we are processing and exporting. It is hardly maybe 10 to 15% we are exporting with respect to food grains and 20-22% we are processing. That's all. When it comes to export, it is 7 to 8% hardly. Who are all exporting and processing? Are we agriculture student or who else they are doing this kind of processing? I hope not much agri background or maybe agriculture student are not doing this kind of business. As I know, many after digitalization, this was the big reforms in agriculture. Having a major startups and innovations in Bangalore, not even 0.5% agriculture students are involved in this development of artificial intelligence, machine learning, or whatever digitalized platform created by not single even inputs they are generating impact non-graduate of agriculture. They are producing inputs for the development of the digitalization of agriculture. And who are the major entrepreneurs in digitalization for using all this kind of platform in agriculture? You just take any major entrepreneurs, they are not engineers, maybe even computer engineers as well as hardcore engineers. But mostly what we think in agriculture, we involved in input industry. That's only we think that is option. Maybe pesticides, insecticide, or maybe exporting little maybe food grains. We are not taking much risk in fruits and vegetables or maybe processed product. That is a huge industry impact. That is the huge industry. It can create more than 20 to 30% of the employment. And you can become highly industrious in the taking maybe 5 to 10% of risk in this processing and exporting industry. Just my thesis was on export of fruits and vegetables. I had been to Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, then Delhi. I met all non-agriculture graduates involved in processing and exporting. Because now you must understand what is the compliance measures, particularly sanitary and food safety measures. That is a very stringent. They understood that. It is a major risk area in exporting of any kind of commodity with respect to processed. They understood, they are complying that all the standards, they are making difference in the prices almost 2 to 3 times. That is how, if I say in opportunity and employment in agriculture, there is no dearth. But we have to invest on our time for how to avoid risk, how to take risk and chase the risk. That is the important things we have to do. Having a major strength with agriculture, you can understand easily any kind of issues related to agriculture. Even near and around Bangalore, you take fruits, you take vegetables, you take flowers. Flowers is the major industry near and around Bangalore. And even Coimbatore to Bangalore and Chennai to Bangalore corridor, you could see most of the firms, maybe 2 to 3% are involved in agriculture graduate. Otherwise, most of them are non-agriculture graduate. You can go survey. Even this starch is also agri-based. Today, Sago is presented by your friend. It is also agri-based industry. It is purely. I don't think these agriculture students are doing this business. This is how you can look for the opportunity and employment with respect to agriculture. We think always we want a job. We will be looking for seeking job, but you try to be a job giver. And just for example, Mahendran sir might be knowing when you go to IRI, most of them are looking for only government jobs. 100%. Exceptionally, one or two in our senior batch, my batch, 2, 3 students, they did not opt agriculture government job. And Dr. Linga Srinivas Rao is extended almost 2,000 agri graduates employment in his business. He started his crop physiologist and trained in biotechnology with Dr. Anand Kumar. And after that, he joined some company. He did not write ARS or he is the only person I've seen. And another few people went to private. They don't want to come to a government sector. After joining, even they got Indian Economic Service and the Statistical Service, but they left it. But Linga, you could see that is the Srikar Agrobiotech, a group of companies. He is in all the field. And he became a good manager. That's how he has extended. Now, recently purchased 50-acre land in Bangalore, seed and flowers. And now he is hiring again some more people from that too. He is looking for agriculture and a different, we have a component in that sector. They accordingly, they are suiting to their work, they are hiring. But that's what I'm telling you, take little risk. You will be shining in particularly agriculture field. We say now many now there are corporate farming, contract farming. Then government is most of the governments are reviving. Now we are starting graduate farming. Those who want to take government land for 10 years and there will be a new scheme will be floating from government of Karnataka. There are a lot of government lands is kept in waste. That's why they want to take instead of extending credit and linking credit with banks, they want to give maybe particularly identifying different areas like seed production, maybe what is the that under ODOP. They if their focus is on particular commodity, they want to government wants to give for graduate scheme that will be 10 years or 15 years maximum with the understanding. That's what they want to do this promoting agriculture, strengthening agri graduates in all the respect by promoting to become an entrepreneur as well as they can generate agri graduate can generate employment. That's what I gave one example. There are many cases. You can have a case studies. You can find many such kind of people. This is how this entrepreneurship in agriculture we look most of the time. It is a stagnation, stagnant or something else, but this is it has a good opportunity, and we can create lot of employment with respect to agriculture. As everyone knows, it is considered as a main economic activity, adds to wealth of the country, and now almost GDP is 18% of GDP comes from agriculture, and we can proudly say there is a variation. It went to up to 13%. That was good for the economy, but again, our dependence on agriculture again it is increasing. That's not good for the good sign for the economy. And when during 1947, almost 40 to 50% was totally depends on agriculture, our GDP, and we came to up to 13, 14%. Now again, looking for agriculture dependency that should not happen in future. but still agriculture is a backbone and it is a very important component for the wealth of nation. And here there are a few sector, as I mentioned, largest producer spices, pulses, milk, cashew, jute, and second largest producer wheat, rice, fruits, vegetable, tea, sugarcane, cotton, oilseeds, followed by we are the front runner in livestock production population, third largest global fishery output, then 40 to 60 soil types present in India. Nowhere across the world you can survey, nowhere this kind of soil is available. You can grow any kind of crop at any season also. That's what I went to this Kokarnag and Anantnag. They are growing almost 18 types of apple and harvesting across the period. Means it's not limiting to particular period, particular season. Around the year they are harvesting and sending to mainlands. That's how the country is. Uh, uh, it is located and 20 agroclimatic regions and 10th largest arable land in the world. And when it looks to particularly key pillars of Indian economy contributing significantly GDP, employment, particularly creation and trade, while also impacting agriculture segment, crop sector, livestock, forestry and fishing sector. Then state-wise output of agriculture producer in India, you take any states, we could have some strength in our states. That's how the ODOP has brought, but it was not materialized because of multi. That is the reason this ODOP is not taking up, because every state can produce any kind of product. That's why the focus has been changed. It was stopped. You could see everywhere, and otherwise we have a major largest producer tobacco, then banana, cotton. When it comes to Tamil Nadu and cardamom from Kerala, you take any crop. See, particularly you go to Canada, USA, they have very focused few crops. That's all. Most of the time they have to depend on other state for importing. Here it is not like that. It is not like that because we can produce any time, any kind of, and you don't think we have no opportunity here, my dear students. Can you make it entrepreneurship? This is you taking any kind of, you know, where banana is going to Delhi, which is the biggest market in our country, Azadpur Mandi, and you could see to Delhi almost around thousands of train is traveling to Delhi, taking a major commodity from all the states. That the pooling, collecting, this is also big business in most of the state. Now, because of better connectivity, they have reduced rail on particularly to move to Delhi, and it has reduced even time period also. That's how there is a big business. Many people are doing this kind of business, looking into particular state. This is the food grains groups. We can have a number of food grains, oil seeds, pulses, all kinds. Maybe some states have exceptionally less, but otherwise we have major commodity in our country. And when it comes to untapped potential of Indian agriculture, before that, I would like to say, see, particularly when it comes to horticulture, we have just less than 1% of the fruits and vegetables we are processing and exporting. Just by increasing 2%, we can generate at least 10 to 15% of employment for younger generation. You know, almost 40% of younger generation in our country between age group of 25 to 40. For this segment, we can generate 15% of total population can engage by increasing fruits and vegetables processing by at least just for 1-2%. That's how we can create a employment for the people. And average agriculture production per hectare is only half of the world average. Can't you think increasing here? maybe with your innovations, your ideas, because as you know, land is shrinking. Just maybe few years back, I had been to Pune. There is a maybe little bigger than this size. They are producing almost tissue culture banana with a cost of almost output of almost 4 to 5 crore. There are many cases like that. That there you can go to Pune, particularly there most of them are involved in tissue culture. And even our mostly universities also they are producing tissue culture, but they are very advanced in production system or maybe adapting new technology. This is how you can have a still there is a scope for enhancement of production with your ideas or your maybe good research in good inputs like you can take in a there is a use scope. India stands second, but as far as exports are concerned, it is ranked 14th in the world. There are many countries looking to for India for export. There are still there is a huge scope for export also. Just we stand fourth. It is just a number fourth, but when it comes to quantity, value terms, we are huge difference in this. If for 13th position of country is standing maybe value maybe in billion, but we are in point some billion. That's how we can enhance our business or export. Then limited access to institutional credit and marketplace that you can use out or you work on that. Then the insufficient public investment and capital formation in agrarian economy. Low levels of technology adoption, as he mentioned, still we are not completely adopted any kind of technology as compared to other nation. There are many countries they are advanced. We say third or fourth largest in the economy in the world, but when it comes to adoption of new technology, as compared to neighboring, particularly when you learn lesson from China, we are very poor in adoption. We say many regions, even there are many constraints with other countries also, but when it comes to adoption, we say we have small holding, we have illiterate farmer, or this. There are many reasons. As I said, near and around Pune, where small farmers they adopted a new technology, producing new kinds of. They evolved different business. They're even producing anjur and packing very properly. They're selling it, exporting it in a small area. The small farmers are only. They're not big farmers. Maharashtra, particularly when it comes to fruits and vegetables, they are also small and medium farmers are very marginal farmers. But they have adopted new technology. They're producing a better valued crop or exporting in different countries. And particularly low level of value addition because we are poor when it comes to a value addition. It starts from even from the field. We don't care for grading. That is also kind of value addition. Just want to take, just we would like to keep away from quick any hard works. That's what happens. Even I belongs to Karnataka, North Karnataka, Gulbarga. When it comes to very good quality red gram, just we will not bothered about it, just cleaning properly. That's how we do. Whatever the 6,000, 7,000, it is fine. But same you just clean it properly, pack it in 1 kg, 2 kg because people don't want quintals. Bangalore, major consumers in Karnataka or maybe Tamil Nadu, Chennai and Coimbatore, they don't want in quintals or maybe 10 kg, 20 kg bag. They want 1 kg bag. They won't mind paying 10 rupees extra because I don't want being in Bangalore, I should not purchase 25 kg bag for any reason. There will be a spoilage, there will be a not utilization. If I want 1 kg, 2 kg, even 20 rupees extra also, I will not mind to purchase. This is what you can take up. Many self-help groups, they are looking for such kind of uh, things. And even Chennai had been to this Nallakira, the NGO. They are sir, many of them you might be knowing. They are very properly packing almost 6,000 units of apartments. They are supplying every day in different kinds of bundles. Greens, particularly, they are earning lakhs and lakhs in a month. This is how you should involve. And post-harvest losses, as we know, almost in ranging from even 10 to 35% as per our survey and studies. Then declining share of agriculture in GDP, that's also a alarming, and we should look up. Then issues pertaining to fall in agriculture employment, there are internal factor, external factor, and exogenous shock. Now, because of maybe due to climate change or maybe faulty policy, there are many issues when it comes to internal factors. You can see inadequate irrigation, maybe institutional inadequate access to institutional credit. There are policy issues. Then when it comes to external factors, excessive economic liberation also leads to many problems. Then followed by, as I said, a climatical factor, the change of climate also affecting our issues related to, and it become a concern for generating employment in agriculture. To try to avoid some extent would be gaining lot of things from agriculture. Then agripreneurs, particularly as it is just you when you take up as agriculture enterprises, then it become agripreneur or entrepreneur. Then because there is a use scope, as I mentioned, there is a diverse agroclimatic region, then a demand for agriculture inputs also in the agriculture sector, then application in different sectors of agriculture, then followed by harnessing the export, as I mentioned, just still we're exporting processed product 0.8 in fruits and vegetables, just 8 to 7 to 8% in food grains. And you think of enhancing even maybe cluster wise or maybe wherever major production is there, you think of installing some kind of processing units or all. That would be your approach, and economic growth will be enhanced by harnessing export. That is a major employment generation or entrepreneurship scope in these areas. Large coastal line, almost more than 7,500 coastal area. Then internal water courses should be utilized for production of marine and inland fishes. And there is a huge scope in with respect to fish and fishery sector. Then ornamental fish culture, already you might be knowing many, not you don't think of rural clusters or rural segment. Many people want to have a particularly big cities or even C, B class cities. They want to have some uh, ambience in the house. Even it may be by 5 inch or 5 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, like this. They want this aquarium and all. There are huge scope. Many people are promoting and keeping their house. That is a huge segment. Bangalore almost we have 3 lakh houses. At least even you take 1% also 30,000, 40,000 people. Just you think of just if you're promoting 1 or 2%, there will be huge scope. Such kind of business you can harness. Then vast livestock wealth, then forest resources also, beekeeping and apiary, mushroom production. And now this is a highly nutritious food or maybe a vegetable. Then you can think of production and supply. Then how to identify customer also very important, consumers. As just we promoted one FO in Kolar district mango, almost every year they are producing huge quantity of mango. Now we have connected with apartments. There are 900 FPO federation is there. 900 apartments. It's more than having 50 units in each apartment. Almost 4 5 lakh units. Even think kind there are house this residential associations. Almost 8,000 residential associations in Bangalore. In each residential association, almost 4,000 to 400 to 500 houses. They just think you uh, only focus 1 or 2% of the segment, then you will create lot of business opportunity or entrepreneurs opportunity. Then organic farming, another important area. Then, as I said, digitalization is taking up in larger scale. Then production of vegetables and flowers with geotagging. People will understand where the source of production happens. That's also now new class of people thinking that where they are producing, how they are producing. They want to traceability pattern, how they are producing and selling. Now people they don't look for yeah, best quality at market. They want where they're producing, how they're producing. Now in Karnataka, particularly in Bangalore, we have connected 10 family. That Lokesh Reddy is heading the 10 family. He is directly producing and connecting with consumers, and they sometimes visit also their plants, and they have intent. They are purchasing. They are asking them to produce such kind of particularly leafy vegetables and vegetables. They are producing directly giving to them because they want to such kind of understanding where they are producing, how they are producing, they are using a good agriculture practices or not. He just is a software engineer. Now he left from Gauri Bidnur. Daily he is supplying to the many apartments. Because once you are influenced by their good agriculture practice system, people would like to purchase and they will be influenced. This is how they can think of. You can also work out. You need not to produce. At least you can connect consumers for supplying good quality fruits and vegetables are. And employment opportunity have increased in marketing, transport, cold storage. Still, when it comes to supply chain, this is the poorest linkage in our production system. There is a huge scope for strengthening supply chain, and you can think of where you can involve, create opportunity, making this opportunity into entrepreneurship in supply chain from production to consumption. Here, need for some entrepreneurship in agriculture. There are production approach and one side a market approach. Particularly, still production approach, there is a requirement of policy reforms, R&D investment, support to farmers, market intervention, technology transfer. Most of the time, even many times we are lacking this kind of things. You can support the government by maybe policy briefs or bullets or alerts. That is also another important. As a agri graduates, you think of these area where we are lacking, how we can improve this production process. That is a production approach and market approach, investment, innovations, entrepreneurship, infrastructure. Particularly when it comes to market approach for MBA and agri economic students, you will have use scope. You have a group of students you think over and must be TNE is promoting student for startups and innovations. You involve as a agribusiness students, you should be front runner. You should become because production side there are many subjects they are working. It may be genetics or maybe plant science, crop production, crop improvement. They're all production side. But when it comes to next forward linkage, you are the major army. You have use scope. You can connect any subject with market, any subject with consumer. This is how you have to work out. And you take here it requires a structural transformation of your education system or maybe your understanding, your thinking with respect to forward linkage. You make agriculture to agribusiness. Then there are agribusiness ecosystem, how it works, the value chain, where source and produce, transform and make and retail. Here you can think of particularly penetration of organized market because all across the country we don't have for all the production products organized market. You think of establishing a chain of stores in a particular fashion, it should work. And when it comes to supply, we don't where to supply and how to get material. That is a huge issue with related to agriculture. A RV college student, he prepared for Bangalore one just plain layout, how to procure and how to supply to Bangalore fresh vegetables. Just a third year student he has prepared and even he studied which area, what class of people, and what kind of people they are staying in Bangalore. Because Bangalore is not whole Bangalore is cannot eat vegetables and fruits. There are area they want to eat non-vegetarians are almost 48% in Bangalore, and we cannot reach good quality meat and any kind of non-veg to people. You how to store and where to store and what quality of meat or fruits, vegetables should be stored. And he has built a very complex network. And because reaching from one point to another point in Bangalore is very tough task. That's what he has built a protocol how you can reach to them also. And what time it should be reached. Particularly, we have a shop at maybe Jayanagar or maybe JP Nagar. What should be the right time to reach there? This is how he has prepared a brief note on that. This is just he is giving, maybe he cannot adapt all. He can give to some entrepreneurs, they can adapt immediately. Because now many agripreneurs are working in supplying this kind of fruits and vegetables. They can adapt also. You think in that line also. You can be consultant for the many people. Then in particularly value chain components, as I mentioned here, this farm input seeds with respect to crop protection, nutrition, agronomical services, then farming, cultivation and harvesting. Here soil enrichment, then seed planting, nourish and protect the even soil, transport, harvest. These are the many areas you can see. When it comes to distribution side, particularly here transportation, warehousing, processing, refining, food manufacturing, cold storage, packaging, then retailing, traditional trade to grocery, food service, e-commerce. Now it is taking up, and you can involve anywhere. And financial services also, particularly small scale traders. You might be knowing, still it is practice. Evening they will give loan to vendors. Morning they will collect, or maybe late night they will collect with 10%, 20%. That you make it institutionalize, how you can connect with the bankers and all. That would be the better option. A farmer producer organization, as morning Dr. Ramswam sir was presenting a good paper on collectivization of farming community. This is the only option we are left with, collectivization and making vibrant uh, marketing, or maybe a financial institution as a farmer producer organization. And farmer cooperatives also another way of thinking. You can promote, you can, now it is government is also supporting in all the respect. Then particularly sub segments like crop production, farming, horticulture, forestry, livestock, fishery. There are many areas, no doubt you can think of. And what is the percentage of penetration in all the low penetration, moderate penetration? As I mentioned here, that is very penetration. We will not reach a very high penetration in any sector of the agriculture. Then, as you mentioned, mode, particular ideation, initiation. Now, this is a new concept evolved in a recent time period, and startup mode and particularly growth mode. These are the things we are now conceptualizing, and you should scale up those areas in all the sector. Then few pain points exist along the agriculture value chain. Volatility, that is no doubt, since ancestral period you were come across this kind of problems. And here you try to avoid what are the best option for elimination of such kind of volatility. A limited technology access for farmers also another issue, as we say always reason, but we should try to avoid by promoting maybe collectivization or maybe cooperativization. Then uneven quality and lack of large scale testing, that is another important issue. Then inefficient supply chain, lack of access to financial solutions, because you just what is the percent of financial accessible to our farmers is just hardly it is 12 to 13% only. Even though we are telling many schemes or many initiative, but we could not able to reach even just not even 15%, which is 12 to 13% as per the RBI and NABARD studies. Then there are different focus areas: e-distribution, listing, platform, marketplace, uh, and with infrastructure, particularly payments, revenue sharing, then lending, then particularly supply chain, growing system of components and aquaponics, hydroponics, drip irrigation. Then when it comes to a finance integrated platform, remote sensing, software platform, farm mapping, farm management solutions, field operations, there are use area. then information dissemination also. These are the few focused area in agri startups you can think of, because we are not completely reached in those areas. And farm level producers, this is another important, because many people, even all the states, there are good people, they are producing, just they are grading and living to the next level. Because circular economy, don't think I am producing, I should be benefited. That you just take out from your mind. You always, most of the time, policy will not be only for farmers. That circular economy, every should be benefited, but largely farmers should be benefited with better margin. That's only you think. Otherwise, you don't think whatever I am gaining from the market, it should not be reached to farmers. Because circular economy, everybody is involved. That's why we say 60 to 70% of the people are dependent on agriculture. It is not only for production, it is for different operations or activity in the agriculture. That's why everyone can be benefited in circular economy. Then service providers, as you provide, there are many service provider. Once you are any kind of things you are supplying, you should give. Now they call back after 10 days, whatever they are supplying for us. And like it should be in agriculture. Once you supply seed, you should have a hand holding for them. What happened to what I see, what kind of seed I have given, how it is growing. We are not doing it all. You build that confidence to farmers. This service provider will have a lot of opportunity. Particularly some companies are doing, they are going for again going back farmers, maybe through distributors, dealers, they are giving inputs, but they are taking stock of their performance of the inputs. That's how you can think of as a service provider. Then there are company, as I said, there are many companies that are involved in doing this. Then input producer, biopesticides, soil amendments. There are many. There is no depth in agri entrepreneurs or agri business. These are the many industry who are involved in this. Processing and marketing of farm produce. Then this is all basic. Everybody just you can have growth of tech startups in India. You can read startup policy. State-wise startups in India 2000 up to 2022 it is, and every still you can have in thousands only. When it compared to China, America, they are in lakhs, but ours is in thousands only. This is city-wise agri-tech startups. There are still evolving consumer behavior and supply chain efficiency are key demand drivers for agri-tech. This is the climate resilient technology you can think of, and data-driven weather forecasting. Then particularly precision agriculture, now it is taking up. It is because it's now you say different agroclimatic zones, you think of even technology suiting to that climate or even region specific, even now, for example, how do you measure insurance? You have a panchayat as a unit in our country. Still you have to go village, even sometimes you have to go even household level. Still it is a far off thinking for us. Then only you can have 100% insurance to the farmers. Otherwise, now we have a erratic rain, have different parameters for assessment of this indemnity loss. There we cannot reach. That's why there is a huge problem in insurance adoption, because we are not taking in total who is getting loss, who is not getting loss. But just we are going for area approach. We are missing many farmers taking into different kinds of data. When you reach the household level, then only 100% instance could be reached to farmers. Then there will not be much problem in respect to agriculture price and all. There are government initiative you can every year, every budget you can think of. This is all very dynamic policy initiative. It will not be long lasting, and it is based on the focus and strategy developed by states. They are initiating particular schemes and support to the agribusiness, particularly farmers as well as even different stakeholders. And here challenges also, because we know everyone, there are a lot of challenges and issues in the agriculture. Here, poor revenue generation, financial resources. These are all repetition. You could see anybody present, anybody talk, anybody comes in the power. We can only think up, and we should devise how can we solve these challenges and problems. Major agribusiness incubators, as you know, as I mentioned, some of them I have listed. Then some of case study you can present, but very far. It is not concentrated. It is not used in number. Just one or two example. Most of the time we quote, but there is a scope. She is also small lady, having a small kind of business, but she is empowered. Like one can empower, why can't others think up in this line and work on, become entrepreneur, and as well as not think of seeking jobs, go for providing jobs. With this, thanks to everyone patiently hearing me. I think just we can have a discussion. Maybe agribusiness student, it must be boring, but still, please come.
So, good evening to everyone present here. And really, this is actually a new idea from the university that after completing the Viva was examination, so we have planned to utilize the expertise of the people coming here for as external examiner. This is very nice initiative. Really, I thank the Vice Chancellor and Dean SPGS for their novel idea of using the expertise of different people and making them to deliver the lectures like this. And I thank Dr. Siddayya sir. I think besides his busy schedule, he accepted to serve as an external as well as to deliver the guest lecture and sharing the rich experience. I could able to see from his presentation, it not only contains just a presentation, it contains lot of, it shows his experience in that particular field. Really, I thank sir for giving us the holistic idea about the entrepreneurship in agriculture. I think it's just a eye opener for those who are now after completing the degree. You may think about this is all the opportunities that are available to go for the startup, because many people are entering into agriculture, giving a job to each and every citizen is not possible by the government. So nowadays you have to think about starting the new your own business is a good thing in the future. Definitely, the MBA students, at least not all the agriculture students, definitely MBA should at least 50% of MBA students should concentrate on the to get into the business. So instead of job seeker, you have to become a job provider. Okay, that is a purpose of this starting this MBA program in agribusiness. Okay, so with this short note, I thank once again Dr. Siddayya sir and Dean Agriculture and the senior professors and the Dean SPGS and TPO to Vice Chancellor and the advisory committee members and all on behalf of Directorate of Courts and the Department of Agriculture Rural Management. I thank the students, those who attended the guest lecture as well as the Viva OC examination. It's making this event very lively. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.